that preparation and the teams have had the time to look into it. I think that they need a slow start to see if the other one is going to come with a surprise.
Well, thank you very much, guys. It's time for us to jump into game and introduce you to your casters. For today, it's Pansy and Hypok.
Thank you very much. And an interesting
but that's almost giving London United a little bit of overdue respect in that regard from NAVI.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about that disparity between kind of what you'd argue is a consistent tier 1 opponent and maybe a tier 2 opponent, but for now we can jump right into this. We can break that down if it becomes a little bit more apparent, but it may have been a slow start theoried, but not really in practice. Already NAVI going to draw first blood and get control over towards that side.
Collecting the orb, they've actually pulled an extra pedestrian in that equation. So there's now the end goal.
And that's not necessarily secured the site, but it's looking like it's under that NAVI banner.
I've still got 4 shots left in that headhunter. You can make that work. Actually, turret just avoids it, but on that contact, the gravity well comes through. Jada will find another headshot. Molesley, the last man standing. Now, the consolation. 3 more to find, though, if he wants to make a good shot at this.
Yep, gonna be tricky, but that's gonna help matters. The adjustment, Molesley, get out of here. It's a 1v1, but look at the HP, he's down so low. Deno's got a safe pair of hands at the end of the day, but again, it did get pretty dicey there. But NAVI looking like they've come in with some real intent to the approach. That was pretty poignant in the way they decided to hit that up, and that opening being so swift is going to only help matters, and confidence will be brimming. But let's talk about that London United side, because we got the, I guess, benefit of checking in with them quite early, right? We got to see them face off against Vitality and a couple of other teams, and we were very impressed with the spacing, the trading, kind of some of the fundamentals that we really liked looked quite good with them. But also we saw that on things like Fracture and other such events. So I'm curious to see how that looks now up against a team that has got a couple more reps against Tier 1.
I mean, I got to say, and this isn't to harp on them, you know, stomping through their run, but they've got to replicate kind of the it comes back to that term again, proficiency. The fundamentals look so good in some of those performances that we actually casted over. I want to see that across the entire map pool. I think there's an argument to be made. There's probably a home map element there, and fair play to them. I mean, if you can kind of pad out that playbook so early on, and I think that was very, very apparent when we did watch them. But I got to say the standard was much higher than what we've seen on other maps, and I don't think that's unfair to say.
No. And again, we'll see if the map pool becomes a factor, I guess, if we do go potentially towards the third map territory, because I guess the first 2 maps do sit like they're quite, quote-unquote, favorable to the team that picked them, right?
Don't get me wrong, I think with this veto, it's still likely that we go to a third map here. This isn't to sell London United short at all. I think there's a real possibility.
I'm in complete agreement on that. And Dreamass still looking sharp. And the addition of Chamber coming through in a more proficient fashion has really caught my eye. But again, it's doing chip damage, which is fine, but it's not going to really change the outcome of this round. And the clean conversion is what the doctor would have ordered. And they might be getting their prescription teed up nice and quick. So again, NAVI should be happy enough with this. If they can keep 4 standing, that's absolutely perfect. Destrian would love to maybe claim another or 2 if possible, but not going to happen. And it's 2-0 for NAVI.
They carry across into round 3. A couple of Bulldogs, which is a big discussion point as of late. And actually, you got to consider it as well with that ability to take some longer distance engagements in the bonus. Actually, JD 1 away from his ultimate here already around 3. And that could be a big turning factor. Looks like they're going to stack up, try and retrieve that orb over towards A lobby. But again, the death ball potential behind that ultimate could really put this bonus round in Navi's favor.
Oh, and the Starpoo's in danger, trying to slip away to safety, but there's not much to be found. 40 HP, gonna have to rescind. He can't stick around any longer. Destrian's gonna pick up the mantle, but again, it's too risky to commit to.
That's a huge investment to deny that orb, and also the damage taken. That's massive. So early on, yes, Boo on the Astro can sit a little deeper now and just kind of play chess master and be in charge of that utility, but Aftershock, a couple of
1 away for JD.
As well.
Oh, it's online now, yeah.
Yeah, JD's retrieved the orb now. Like I said, that investment now weakens the A-side defense. You can see Molesey's had to come up and pick up the slack, and Boo's doing exactly what I said now. He's in spawn, ready to play chess master.
And there it is. Ult gonna come on through, gonna kind of facilitate a little bit more, but Destrian just gonna peek through the smoke at the perfect time. But the site still is gonna be garnered by Navi. SSK gonna tuck in towards Hell, and that's enough to at least facilitate the cross. Spikes on site. And it should be going down any second now. And actually, SSK getting a little further ahead. What a banger. Still able to do damage. And this is meant to be the bonus with a little bit of, I guess, bulk to it, but unconfirmed damage as well going down to Deno. So this retake's got some legs to it.
That's a lot of players stacked up towards this door. And United just want to play numbers on the way in here. Boo going to find one. JD will find 2 of his own, though. Dreamers trades it out. Dink's the last one standing now, 66 HP. Boo's going to opt down.
There's still a chance on this. This is a huge position to play from. Dreamers noted, and Dinks with the perfect position and the timing bought, and disaster for London United. That's going to be gutting. The start was a problem. We already saw that. The start was looking like it could have been an issue just over that orb control, but it could have been recovered.
I mean, I say that, yes, a huge investment. They take some damage, but Boo, I got to say, credit to him, plays that perfectly. He plays so deep to almost negate that ultimate coming through from JD so that he's still able to support his team ahead of that execution with obviously basically being outside of the AoE. He's still able to pop smokes, throw down a gravity well if needed, but I got to say on the way in there, everything kind of looked as it should be. It was on the retake that things fell apart. Dink's able to isolate both 1v1s there with that drop down from heaven.
Early aggression shown from the defending side, which I quite like. This is going to be one of those couple of upgraded pistols, maybe light armor. It's spread out occasionally, but it's not going to be anything to really be too worried about. If you're Navi, you should be able to keep a clean round, but we have seen stranger things. But for now, it does seem to be going par for the course. Spike being ferried across safely. And again, look, this isn't the Navi CS team, right? I'm not talking about these methodical plays with a superstar dashed in here or there, but they still play a good game, right? That CIS brand Valorant is still pretty solid. So I'm not too worried about these rounds going crazy. But London United, they've got some quirks. They've got some unique ideas. We saw that in droves when we watched them in the earlier parts of these tournaments. But this is where we were kind of curious. Does some of that translate here? Does that find purchase coming in? And so far, not in this round at least, as last one will be Destrian.
For now, looks like he's going to submit to exits if he can. Don't expect Navi to really go hunting for this. Doesn't really favor them at all. Now, actually, we'll catch a couple of audio cues. Might even find a kill on the cross here with his fault line. Actually, yeah, goes right between the two players, and JD still finds it. Prime Gaming flawless comes through for Navi, and this is the point now. This is the snowball round. If they win out in this buy round, this is a huge deficit for the first half. London United have to stop Navi here. You look at now, the momentum starting to build in terms of the ultimates as well as the finances here. see exactly
Spot on.
what's available, actually. Yes, a Blade Storm, Cosmic Divide, Lockdown. JD's already 3 away from his ultimate again. So this is an influential round in terms of this first half. And the problem being, London United have to start investing some of these ultimates themselves.
Speaking of that,
Tour de Force, yeah. Going online straight away. So, let's see.
look at this mid piece. Right up the guts. Already going to take a lot of space. SSK going to be a nuisance here. This actually can make them feel uncomfortable on the extremities if they're expecting maybe Chambers ult to come out.
Navi are happy to give it, though. Look,
Yeah,
they've
well-
adjusted perfectly to this.
Exactly, they're in good position, but the problem is, are they still diligently watching this? They may consider that the extremities are taken, which obviously they are, but it's that next layer of now trying to hit that site to navigate around it, potentially going to depend on things like short and other areas of the map that can be so claustrophobic. And there's the first bit of contact. Who's going to figure out potentially a great deal of the plan if they were going to continue that way? And there's Hunter's Fury as well, just to add in for good measure. Molzy got much from this. I don't know if he actually got a tag. I think he might have done. Yeah, JD going to be cut down. And actually a decent play to pick up
well.
as
No charges left.
yeah, SSK not looking so pristine anymore.
And that's huge to lose JD now. Basically, Dreamer has free roam. He doesn't have to worry about being suppressed now, losing his abilities, the use of the Tour de Force, and his headhunter, because he's only got a classic
How do you
in this
clear
round.
this? I want to see what the plan is, because you've got to know they've pushed the extremities. If I guess that's one
There
way
you
to
go.
do it.
Yeah.
Lovely work. Really, really being attentive to the details that could be coming through. Completely unconfirmed, and boo. Speaking of
that's an
unconfirmed, just goes
overstep.
for a walk. Not going to work out. 13 seconds though. Dreamer still stands, has to do damage. And now speaking of damage, look at NAVI digging their heels in. Spike going to go down. I don't think much can deny this at the moment.
gonna get
Fekir and
caught.
Molzy.
Yeah.
And you're right. Molzy gets caught. Bound together as Dano desperate to try and get it, but the
Not
support
sure
is
about
there.
that.
The bodyguard is on that. Dano maybe getting a little too hungry for that. There's now a 2v2, certainly possible and feasible, but this cross could be dangerous, but no one actively peeking, going to be kept quelled for now. As already the first drop down comes in, they will get stepped towards site.
Swarm grenade out.
First Nano Swarm comes out. Actually, the second one's disabled there by Fekir, so the tap will come through. Operator posted up. The updraft, the
I
perfect
love
bait
it.
there.
I can't get enough of that. Bring me more of that. Just the perfect bait between the two. That's some synergy
The double
I
swing
will
as well.
never get enough of. Just
Charges left.
SSK happy to put life on the line for it. Happy to just go for the updraft, put himself in such an uncomfortable position to adjust to, just on that aim and the swing out at the same time. And we credit London United for their ability to often kind of have great spacing, really nice play off each other. Seeing Navi do that is beautiful to me.
Well, it's interesting to know that I think actually that there's kind of a 50-50 taken by London United there. The operator's watching right side. I think their second player's watching towards wine. So lack of information actually gives Navi the benefit to do something like that. It's the operator they end up facing. It's the one where, you know, you whiff your first shot. I mean, call it wraps at that point.
Blocking vision.
Another attempt to contest this orb outside a lobby. Boo, yeah, take a lick of damage, but certainly not as much as last time. That will force them off the angle, though. London United keen to deny this on a round they don't have an awful lot to work with. It's pistols and one Phantom. Navi will, on the back of this, slow things down just a tad. It looks like actually Destrian happy to invest a little more utility here, considering the flash in.
And there's the swing. Now, the flash was good, but the manpower, the firepower, outmatching. No one else to really try and instigate anything off that. Already chip damage done. You can see Feku's going to be pushed back. Dinks has caught up Dreamus, and there's none of these angles really working out for them at the moment.
No.
None of these little, you know, sweaty
30
corners.
seconds
Dinks
left.
could be caught off guard, potentially. Bit of a tricky position to be in. Has to stand the ground and fight, and he still finds Feku, and he knows where the other is. So now identifying the final player, and that could be maybe a weapon brought into play, but you can already see that JD's trying to keep that in check, going to police that weapon. And Na'Vi are looking substantially stronger, at least on this map for now.
I mean, I feel like at this point they're coasting. We're back on a buy round now, round 7. This is, I got to be honest, the one you look towards is round 5. Another chance here to, I Actually, I guess I'll concede on that one. We've got the Rolling Thunder, we have the Bladestorm, we have the Constantine Divide. So it's not as if London United have over-invested to try and stop NAVI, but at this point, the deficit is so big that you really need to see London United take the initiative. They need to really be decisive in one of these early rounds. It's looking like a pretty...
A mid lane now, that could...
I was going to say, it's a pretty thin setup here in terms of what they're contesting, which is mid. It's only an operator to swing through that and already forced off.
And there it is. Dreamers, this spot has to be so quick on this. That's one, couldn't even get away. Deno instantly trades it out now.
Okay.
That has to be straight through smoke. There's no shot, he saw that. And Na'Vi, I mean, you're going to take that blow, suffer that casualty as the spike's now going to go down. Door is shut, so at least a little bit of safety from short for a second. But again, still 3 players here, and there's going to be the KJ coming in as well.
Another lockdown already. The ability here actually for Na'Vi to reset away from sight a little bit. Actually, the lockdown's so deep that it's still going to catch one. Boo's detained. That's going to slow things down.
And look at Dinks instantly going to try and fill that space. I actually really like that, but it does put him on an island. Trying to be a little bit cheeky with it. It's dangerous play, but now time is a factor. Can JD play this perfectly? The underhand flash gets in and it catches one. Gets the headshot on Beck. Now he knows what's up. Another flash to follow.
No way, JD
is destroying them. The man to watch. And now you're seeing exactly as to why time's been bought. Job done for JD.
Oh my word.
And it's anything but simple. The man's complex. He's played it so well, and it's a gorgeous clutch as Na'Vi get themselves even further ahead in this game. We've now seen the perfect composure as a collective, and then just the individual power coming out from JD. There's a reason the Kukuka brought him up on the desk as the man to watch, and you're seeing it in just clear vision here.
I mean, I stand by the statement from the desk. For me personally, it was the highlight of NIP's run in EU, to be honest with you. That roster, JD was always the talking point for me, and I mean, this is what you get. You put him on less than 80 ping, Lauren, and this is the byproduct of that. Played so well here, and actually it's a horrible position to be in if you're Molesy, but he's isolated behind Gen there. JD finds both kills in front his side of Generator with that second flash.
I mean, if Molesy was there to face, right, if he's trying to protect the person on the defuse, he's still going to eat the flash. It's almost unwinnable as long as that flash is well timed.
Like with the timing there, the only solution is to actually commit to playing anti-flash. Almost
you have
bait
to just
your
sit there with
teammate
your
on
back
the defuse.
open.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Like, I don't blame them for not sitting completely anti-flash the whole time. Like, it's you'd feel silly if you suddenly get swung on, right? Like, let's say he dry peaks ahead of it. Who knows? I mean, it could be so dangerous, but a 1v3 like that is going to be a confidence booster and a valued timeout potentially coming in here just to correct the ship a little.
Right here.
Sorry.
Right here.
Look at JD's ult progress.
Oh.
Right here.
Used in the last round, by the way. And this is terrible because yes, we can make the argument that on these buy rounds, London United now need to start borderline over-investing in terms of ultimates to slow things down. JD has that available again.
They look rattled. They look a little rattled here, even after that timeout.
Oh, maybe this is a consideration to make. Really, is with the run that London United have had. Maybe this is testing the depth of that playbook. The ability to find answers on the fly here versus Na'Vi on Ascent. It's not there for me.
No, not yet. I was quite impressed, as I said, by London United. We got to see them kind of overcome Vitality, kind of build right back in, and a couple of games really caught our eye. I don't think we could have, sung their praises anymore, but we did wonder how it would translate against higher tier teams that don't have maybe as many issues in the map pool. This is decent damage from Boo so far. They have stabilized by picking up Dreamers, but
another one. Okay.
Fair enough, Boo. Fair enough.
Player standing.
And just down to Boo now.
Well, you got 5 HP, Boo. 5 HP and a
30
Sheriff.
seconds left.
Look, it's
I
not looking that much.
I remember why I was a fan of London United when we watched them, because I could only think of the Monsters Inc. Boo
Nice.
running around at the time. Obviously now there's a webcam there. That's completely ruined the illusion that my brain's told me, but Boo left in the 1v2. Trying to clear the corners, but you know that even Tommy's a threat at this point.
Well,
that's essentially a 1v3.
That's one shot to Tommy. If Tommy lands a body shot here, it's wraps. Oh, They want Tommy to get the kill. They're trying to feed Tommy.
Feed Tommy. Oh, boo.
Well, we'll be able to salvage a weapon. I mean, 1450 on the board. This doesn't want to feed away an ult point, I guess. Not that it would matter to Dinks. I mean, Cosmic Divide's already there, but... Retrieve the Vandal, force out. Yeah, I guess the utility and the shield purchase is going to leave him about level with the rest of the team. Actually, a little bit ahead. Not that it matters at this point. I mean, he's 8 rounds down there. Saving the weapon or doing damage to NAVI in that round, it bears no value either way.
Not really. Right.
JD, one of his ult again.
JD's
I wonder if NAVI will stack up towards A lobby and fight for this orb.
Crazy.
And now London United don't want to entertain it. Look, they're just like, oh, it's Dreamers. Yeah, you worry about it. You got a TP.
Good luck. Oh,
Yeah,
get out of there.
Burn the TP out, so they now have a 20-second window to isolate that player if they want to force their way on. JD's retrieve the orb. Yep.
Trying to pop Boo up in middle.
Okay.
I like that. Under the watchful eye of Feku with the op. No trade coming in off that. Boo does actually make it out. So a good bit of play around the first, you know, pick coming in. Don't mind that. A good response to the understanding. But again, it's that next layer. Feku going to play the smoke perfectly. A double swing coming out from a lobby.
Ooh.
And it's getting wonky. But again, it is a 2v4. It should be okay.
I mean, if they can find this kill on Feku, which they're going to with this swarm grenade, yep, it's now a 2v3.
Right. What do they have in the kitty as well? So
I mean, at
SSK
this
can
point,
still do so much damage. Look how deep they're having to sit here.
At this point, I'm like, yeah, throw the Rolling Thunder. If you have to get around on the board, this is damage control for London United. I don't want to see this get out of hand in the first half. 8 rounds is borderline out of control already, but Dreamers with a very deep position towards wine. I'm actually looking. His TP could get removed here, which would leave him kind of stranded, and NAVI should be able to read into that. You're right, 10 seconds here.
10 seconds
Actually, the wrong TP removed.
And he has to play to time. Good work from Dreamers to find SSK. That's great. And now you're down to just Dinks. Tommy's still standing. It's not the ideal spot for old Tommy, but it will do for now. Dreamers plays well. The positioning going to pay off. They're kind of tucked in towards wine. And NAVI had to run into pretty much the unknown, right? They slipped through towards kind of tree, up through CT, drop down, and again, you're going to navigate around, but you're not going to have too much to play with in towards that post plant and the retake coming in from London United. So you said it, one on the board. They just needed a round at this point. There's no other way to kind of paint that picture. It's a, I don't say desperation round, it's not, but it's something they desperately went for. Yeah.
Well, damage limitation at this point. All the force can be thrown in there again. Feku has the operator, so essentially this double op setup, but this is the problem really, when you're playing Chamber versus a KO, when JD's got his ultimate this often, and you're coming into this round with just the classic and relying on the Headhunter and the Tour de Force. I would make an argument at an 8-1 scoreline, buy a rifle as well, because you don't want to be, I mean, essentially caught with your pants down. If he's in AoE of this ult, again, he's just going to have to play off a classic, because he can't TP away either.
Oh.
Well, there you go. He does TP ahead of it,
but still, he's on the classic.
Yeah. He's an absolute spectator now to this.
Yeah, perfect summary. Again,
traps mean nothing on the way in as well. There's so many considerations to make as part of that. Yeah, it's a 5v5 post plant, but
hopefully they've got utility left for the retake. That's all I've got to say. But SSK going to make light work of one. That's going to encourage a swing from Dano and going to find some more, maybe some more information too off the back. But he's going to be hunted down. Boo's going to catch him. And now we're down to 3. Boo, Dreamus, and Molzy still standing, but there's so much in their way. There's still so much late game utility that's going to hinder this progress. You can see the flashes coming into effect, and they're still really not off the starting blocks here. This post plant sharp, and SSK is just as quick. So now Dreamus finally able to play off anything but a classic, but at this point, it's done. It's wrapped. NAVI.
It's brutal. It is brutal. Navi playing this textbook. The ultimate management and again, it's luck of the draw. If Dreamers is playing the site that they're gonna hit death ball like that, like I said, you got to give it up. And the other thing is, behind that ultimate, Navi almost invest nothing on the way in. So they have all of these tools available in the postman. They've got 4B main control. They can sit deep. They can play close. At that point, actually, JD's signature abilities back off cooldown as well. So they then have it to slow down the retake from London United.
And I'm just not finding any clean solutions. Now, this could help, but it's always at a cost. Dinks is still finding the first pick. He's still finding fair Q. So even though, yes, that could have been a clean pickup potentially off the back of the ult, it's instantaneously traded out. They do lose out on Dinks, though, for Navi, who's been quite integral in those post plants, having some really good impact, but already SSK looking to just break through, confidence starting to really brim. On the other side, Destrian going to have to play a very cautious game towards Tree. It looks like Navi are starting to lean towards that A site.
Destrian still has the Rolling Thunder. We'll get a flash off ahead of being suppressed, but position noted. I'm sure Navi aware of a Rolling Thunder being available as well. Looking to brute force their way through here. JD, actually, Rolling Thunder invested pretty early on here.
And Dano still found Molzy.
Achieved nothing.
Yeah. And now the divide comes in. The timing's great for this as well. Going to force the hand of London United.
This is actually great. JD still has 2 flashes and a fragment. They can use anything to get in.
How?
That's the initiator, by the way.
Yeah, the way they've just kind of bounced utility back and forth and depended on each other here has been actually pretty terrifying to watch. And Navi, yes, this is the 3v3, so
flash him in door.
Anyone gets suppressed at this point, surely a few have been. Some have been noted on this. Dano's going to get one, going to get swung on, but the instantaneous, a quick trade for Cloud. Right there towards Boot. Leaving just one. Destrian. It is a double stack down there. This could have something to it. Maybe not.
Nah. I was hopeful.
Bloody hell. It's 10 to 1.
Last round.
It's actually pretty uncomfortable to watch. Navi absolutely dominating on their attacking half, and I got to say, yes, there's room for London United to tweak a few things, but this isn't really to say that they're playing a terrible game. This is Navi just putting on an absolute show right now.
Yeah. I do hope I'm gonna say this map's looking a bit cooked, if I'm honest. I'm looking then at Haven, right? I'm hoping the next step to this is maybe similar scenes from London United, but you're still gonna have to come back from a massive deficit, right? Like, that's the scary factor. And look at London United's answer. Walk mid.
Out of my way.
Yes, it is not the triple middle, the infamous triddle. What did you call this?
A quaddle.
A quaddle indeed. Now it's a triddle.
Yeah.
Cloud gonna find Boot. And JD all the time very aware that Destrian would want to try and pinch on this potentially, as JD gonna just press the corner, get stinked up, and actually put to bed. Destrian holds his own here. And NAVI finally having a little bit of a spanner thrown in the works against them because, well, Molzy's tucked down in middle. That's gonna reveal the plan.
Molzy's dead.
Molzy might be in trouble.
Oh.
He's still alive.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Not a believer. Got it.
Out of charge.
And while this happens, look at the push on the A side of things. Destrian's doing well. This could be 2.
Well, it could have been, yeah.
Oh.
It definitely could have been, but actually it's 4 kills in favor of Navi. Hey, that's the sort of thing you want to see, and it is so tough to achieve when you're at a 5, 6, 7 round deficit. That's what you wanted to see in round 6, though. You wanted to see London United
I wanted to see them try something.
really take a round into their own hands, find a first blood, and then just make things chaotic. Because giving Navi early round control is what's basically lost them 11 rounds. Well, not contesting it, I should say. No, not giving it up, but not contesting it.
But fighting for the middle ground space almost, or even pushing beyond that.
They ran rampant. In so many of those rounds, it was just literally, okay, cool, we're going to walk for 20 seconds, then, hey, on the back of the Owl drone and a flash, you're giving us A site, basically. It's ours.
Okay.
There's a lot riding on this pistol round.
There truly is. So this is going to be a tough one if it's not converted cleanly. by London United. Almost no mistakes can be made at this point, and a quick mid piece seems to be what they want to come up with. Already JD's just batted that off with a smile, and now they're stuck.
Control top mid. Boo posted outside B main, but SSK here with Sheriff in hand, fixated on that angle. It looks like London United might actually drift back this direction now. With JD close by, it could be a flash after this first contact as well. Find SSK. Step actually, the warband comes through. On the first, there's the flash I was talking about, but Mosey shuts that down. This aftershock could find the kill as well.
This is great. This is the best chance they've had. Back to a 3v3. They've somewhat equaled this out, but while this has happened, you can see Dreamers has been exploring towards A, and if he can secure some part of this, I'm all aboard. For now, position is fully seen and known.
Actually pulls the alarm bar away from short, so no
guess that
vulnerability on
helps.
anybody there.
Yeah. Na'Vi, though, well aware of the plan now.
Oh, he has.
Dreamers,
Okay.
for the second time, does eventually get caught by this. You can see the safety being trying to be created
The
by
HP.
Destrian. Dreamers, the crossfire. Oh, Destrian almost got forced off this so quickly. A little bit of utility can go a long way. And they're doing the dance, but Deno's going to do just that little bit better. There's now Destrian and Molsey, the last two, to try and stand. They try to aggress, and actually Molsey does more than enough to make this seem feasible. And Cloud caught with his pants down.
Yeah.
What was that from Cloud?
Knife out, running at the spike. I mean, I guess anticipating, yeah, he's so low HP, Molsey's not going to re-swing this, but you're right. Literally, caught with his hand in the cookie jar, ahead of tapping that diffuse. Really well played, and actually, I think combined about 55 HP between those last two members of London United. Start things off with a Red Bull clutch, the pistol round of the second half. A lifeline. Let's see how far this goes.
Sure.
I remain open-minded. I've been proved wrong before, but
That is true. We've seen stranger things happen. Proof is always going to be in the pudding, though, and Navi respecting this, you can see the purchase is extremely light.
JD's profile pictures catching me off guard every single time
Why?
because it's so good. It's so good. I wish I could pull off curtains like that.
Could you not do a center parting?
There's a test for something. If you want to Photoshop JD's curtains onto my face, that would be
If
much
someone
appreciated.
can do that, I would pay 20 euros
Big
for
bucks.
it.
Big bucks.
20 euros is what I'll pay for that.
Out of charges.
That's the value. So if anyone watching decides they want it, and it will go to the best, obviously, example of it. I
Hashtag
will
VCT
pay up.
EMEA on Twitter.
Get the branding right, obviously. This should be a walk in the park, as it's looking as such, as it was classics and a couple of odds and ends.
Don't want to see
But,
anybody else fall. Yeah, this is the thing. Hold on to these
Yeah,
weapons as best you can.
we don't.
My ult's not ready. My ult's not
Yeah,
ready.
I can't imagine you with curtains, but I'm really trying. It's really, like, my brain is just, you know, when things don't, it's like oil
Yeah.
on water or whatever, it just doesn't quite,
Yeah.
you know, it's that, but I'm
What, you
so
saying
ready.
I couldn't pull it off?
I'm just saying I can't imagine it.
Okay.
You know, I
Basically
think there's
the
an
same
age
thing.
limit
That's
on
basically
the
the same
center
thing, you
parting
know
as
that,
well.
right?
You know, I think at some point
There's a
in your
parting in there
30s.
somewhere. There's just two of them on opposite sides.
Okay, we have at least the big round coming in. Rifles out, armor on. Actually, similar scenes from both sides. Here's the Bulldogs coming out to play, but as you said, not too fussed about it. But this is where I get nervous, right? This is when it's like, well, we've got to stay perfect now to close in that scoreline. It's such a difficult thing to kind of navigate. This isn't yet going to be supplemented with the ults. That hasn't come on through. Anything to be worried about just at this moment, but looks like a little bit of a set piece coming out from London United. And SSK played in off the back of the flash. And they didn't eat it enough. They were
I
fine
mean,
on the back of that.
Yeah, it could have been a chance for two freebies there, but shut down ahead of that. Actually, a gravity well in response. Aussie will retrieve the orb. One away from the Hunter's Fury now, and first blood drawn. Around it. Again, you look at it. It's rifles across the board, those Bulldogs included. Almost a level playing field here. London United will stack up outside A lobby, looking to see follow through on the first blood. Fragment going to slow things down. No damage done just yet. Actually, one gets pulled into the gravity wall there.
Yeah, they can still make the cross though. Nothing's going to particularly stop them at this point. Spike going to make it through safely as well. Plant goes in. We are into a 5v4 retake for NAVI and it's post plant for London United. First contact made in the post. Actually, good aim from Dreamers there. Really nice. Secures it. Maybe stills the nerves a little. He's been looking a little hot and cold. But this is great work from London United, and something they desperately needed is a clean gun round. This should be a save from NAVI if they're being meticulous in it at least.
We'll retreat. Try and protect a couple of these rifles. I mean, I don't think SSK's at the Blade Storm yet, so whether or not they're going to be able to spread the funds, muster together something, I mean, it should really be a purchase around these two Vandals with Phantom.
Yeah, let's see if London United get those guns away. They're not that far. Should be fine to hold for now. No one's going to be pushing too far. Okay, we're good. So yeah, 3 rifles remain. And what's the money around that? 2.9.
I mean, this is tricky, really, because you can see actually Dinks and JD going to throw in 600 and 700 credits as well. But this is what I'm talking about. It kind of needs to be a force around these 3 rifles.
Yes.
From SSK and Cloud. 3 orbs away. No Blade Storm. Already commented on that. So that's a weird position to be in financially. Again, I'm not necessarily believing until we're maybe within 4 rounds, and then we'll look at the finances and see whether or not United actually have a tangible shot back into this half. But already, yes, a big buffer bar, but especially conversion of that round 3. Really, I'm looking towards that second buy round.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's.
How'd you feel about it?
Not great. I'll be honest. There's probably lots of other words.
I like not great.
Yeah.
That summarizes my mood currently. That's good.
No bueno.
And they're spreading the wealth. Okay, so they're going to drop SSK.
Thanks.
Dinks is going to go Sheriff only, I guess.
I mean, yeah, put Dinks in the back line. He can rely on his utility, maybe play a ratty spot, find something. Fouled. We'll play B main with the Guardian. Looking to maybe find a little bit of damage. Yeah, the flash through. It's perfect, actually.
You can see it
Look
that
at that
time.
coordination.
That time, it was on a knife's edge, Mike. That was so close to either being a disaster, because that's the invested rifle, right? You've been given that, passed over to you by Dinks, like, please, man, make it work. And he does. Delivers in the end of the back of the flash as well. Nicely set into motion by JD2. So that's going to garner them the first pick, but instantly the response looking like from London United is lean back towards B, and that's actually where we're seeing Dinks play, who's going to be down on the lighter weaponry. Same as I think Cloud was only on a Guardian potentially, so it's far from ideal. And have to depend on the utility to buy time on the rotations, which is slowly coming in.
Yeah, well, the next step is for London United, because they've got themselves entry, still 1 player on site to deal with, and a little bit of damage done in the way, and utility investment-wise, it's cost them a lot to get here.
Do they still... They've got to clear Dinks, right? Now that's... I still want them to check on this. I really do want them to be diligent and check towards the back of the site now. The timing... He's still going to get boost, so that's going to be Spike now noted. They know there's another backside, probably 1 on the side, but they don't account for FEQ. Going to swing and only find 1, so we look at what remains. It's down to SSK. The man given the rifle, told to do your best. Spots Molesy, but now knows there's more in front of him.
No charges
Yeah,
left.
actually, Dreamer's on 20 HP. If he finds his first kill onto Molesy, let's actually swing it back in his favor.
He's
Molesy,
got time.
plenty of time to work with here. I say Molesy almost has to take first contact here, because Dreamers is tucked under lane. He will not last long in that position.
He's got to make his move soon. And timing might be right. There it is.
Well.
Dreamers with a nice off angle to play with. Just going to sit himself safe on that 21 HP, as you noted. And London United are doing it. The focus is there. It was costly, sure. But again, the economy for NAVI is going to be quelled for this round as well. This should be 6 on the board. They're starting to build up here. But it can all fall apart in a second, right? It takes 2 rounds.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the scary factor.
And the next round, I think, is where SSK is going to have the ability to throw an operator in the mix. So we see a big adjustment in terms of the defensive setup here. Actually, round 17 is looking like we might get that as well. It's a 4-player stack towards A. So anticipating London United to try and coast through this.
Revealing area.
A little bit of a, well, resemblance of a default here. On United, I guess on the flip side of that, anticipating a little bit of aggression. Maybe reading into the fact that Blade Storm's available. That Navi tried a little set piece out into A lobby once again, but nothing on the other side of it just yet.
What time is it, Mike? Roughly, it's just...
24?
NA's waking up.
Oh no.
Guys, come on.
Stay down.
Come on. Like, just chat's getting a little weird. You can really tell it really spins over.
Come here.
Did you watch much of NA yesterday, actually saying that?
I did actually, yeah. I guess a short summary. The guard is still insane. Literally.
Sure.
It's just bonkers. Trent is very, very quickly become my new favorite player.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy is on... He's playing a different game.
Okay. No, I need to catch up a little bit. I only had a couple of...
And NRG are pretty good. I guess that's the only other summary, really, from last night.
I honestly just keep watching Steele's watch party.
Yeah.
I like to drown myself in misery. You know what I mean? Like Mozzie might be. They're down to 10 seconds, and I hate this. I hate this so much, London United. What are you doing? Cloud trying to make up for those mistakes that he made before. 6 seconds now on the board, and they're scrambling. It's over. That's going to be 12 on the board, and it's all down to a mistake, leaving it too late in the day, and it does not matter now. Cloud was the thorn in the side, but you left him alive at the back of the site. You gave him an opportunity. He took it with both hands. This was never meant to be the round that they get to 12 on. Never.
Those first two headshots were crisp as well.
Oh, man.
And this is the problem, really. When London United slows things down, you're absolutely right. It comes to that late round where it's almost desperation phase, and 1 or 2 kills can literally conclude the round. At that point, you don't get a say in the matter. And that, for me, is maybe an element of nerves here on the side of London United.
Let's play.
They're desperate.
They've got so many ults to play with, though. They've got to throw almost everything at the wall at this point. You know, desperation or not. Lovely flash, but it's
Must be nice.
Sky.
Must be nice.
Just knows it, reads it like a book. The page left open, and now, again, London United going to try and power on forward. Good response in kind. Going to take mid-control, force rotations, pull the player away. I think that's going to be JD now having to account for it. So are you looking a little bit lighter, and obviously same could be said, but Cloud still stands, and this man is clutch.
Wait, that was so weird there. Actually, Destrian's combo on the back of Dreamus' trap, but it caught inside market. I'll have to watch that back. That was a crazy combo. The Aftershock obviously making use of the slow on the other side of that market wall, but I have to take a look at where that trap even came from. Did you just kind of throw it into the market doorway and catch somebody? A crazy reactive utility, if so.
Okay. 3v3.
Still all this
Towards A we go
killjoy
and
utility,
look
though.
at, yeah, it's just scattered across
30
the floor.
seconds left.
They're creeping in slowly. They now know what's up, and they're... Yeah, time going to be bought a little. They've got to invest. They have to invest behind this to try and allow that cross to be anything other than dangerous. They actually find JD with that too. So that's the icing on the cake. You'll take that every day of the week. That's something you'll be happy with now. Trying to deny the spike plant. And Destrian is such low HP. The time is down to just the last second for the plant to come in. Job done. And now Cloud, can you do it again? A 1v3 this time. They do have weapons to hand. Destrian barely breathing.
Destrian and Molesy need to slow things down here. Boo, ultimately, the last piece of the puzzle with that HP, but he's tucked into hell, so... Oh no, Cloud made the jump, and yeah.
Okay.
Thank God somebody's watching for it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
100%, because if he somehow gets past... Ooh, okay. They're riding out the storm, right? They are riding out the storm at this point. And Navi, it's just constant danger. I'm just waiting for another one to get 3K. And it feels horrible, right? Because part of me is like, when do I call it a comeback? When do I start pushing?
I mean, it's tough because Navi have found their 12th, right? That's the thing. Really, if it was 10 or 11 rounds, for me, it's always bring it within 4, you win your next buy round. It's feasible.
Oh.
Don't tell me Navi are going to do it on another round where they're not supposed to win.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fine though, right? They don't have to accelerate, they don't have to speed anything up, but they're going to pop the ult, try and isolate a player here, and they've managed to take down JD, which is actually a great scalp to be claiming. And now Navi left with scraps. There is Cloud still in this, so keep that in the back of your mind that he's sat there rifled up, full armor. And they've gone for the stack on the other side, which I quite like, right? Like, it's a nice idea, it's a nice concept to try and play around that hero rifle.
Well,
but they're actually expecting that London United were going to peel away, which
and I'm not sure why, because there's been no audio cue, and Cloud just darted into B main, and on the back of this utility, they now know they rotated preemptively. London United, look how cautious they are on the approach.
If I'd felt a stack and I had to walk in quietly, I'm not feeling confident. There we go. Nice work from Boo. Clears methodically, and you're right. The caution pays off. Now, that rifle really won't be able to find much in this round at this point. I feel it's getting a little late in the day, unless good trading comes in. Maybe Dano and Dinks can find a little something. That's a freebie from Cloud. Does actually not find the flash. I thought he might have been able to get away from that, but Mozzie is there to punish, so good trade. And the rifle does fall to no, but he's on 22 HP, and Non-United are just ignoring him, apparently.
Yeah.
All right.
The problem is, Dinks has still got a sheriff as well.
It's a 2v2. This is so feasible. Boo is sweating bullets down there, but just keeps it in line. I feel that London United thought they were over the line. And they rested on their laurels for a second, and Navi almost converted it around with one rifle.
This is the problem. This is why we talk about when to believe the comeback. Because I just took a quick look at the ultimates available, and it's getting towards one of those, 1 in 5 snowball rounds where Navi have everything they need to make something happen. Lockdown available, Cosmic Divide, JD on what feels like the 20th ult he's had this map. See if Navi can find an opportunity to invest and close this out, because I mean, it's 12-7. It's already further than I thought we were going to get with how the first half went.
Yes, for sure. This has been a great turn of events for London United. They've been able to close in on the scoreline. In review, VLR analysis can look back and go, hey, it wasn't a one-sided affair. There you go. But contextually, that first half is going to be pretty brutal to quantify. But at this point, you can see London United taking pause for thought. They will be walking into what we know, a pretty heavy A site, plenty of utility. The additional player of SSK sat on that side. And they're trying to explore maybe a little more towards middle.
It's just worrying, though, to see London United kind of push and prod a little bit, and now actually they're trying to split A, and they will be splitting towards the Killjoy utility and JD. That's the problem. It's JD on top of that utility as well. Yeah,
JD's going to
catalyst everything.
30 seconds left.
Time, don't let this come down to the clock again. They're down to 20 seconds, Hypok. And they've left it so late in the day. This is all down to, again, KJ ult now comes in. They couldn't have done this at a worse time. SSK waiting patiently on the other side, but they have got the spike down at least. Now, can they hold the post plant? That's the next big question in my mind, and Dreamas is right there, and he's been detained.
It's 2 detained.
Wait, that's 2?
It's 2 detained. I don't know if he thought...
Defusing. They're defusing.
I don't know what he thought. What did he think? Did he think he had his TP? I don't understand. I don't know if I'm missing something on the UI there. Was he still suppressed, or... what a weird round for that to be... to close out map. Well, I mean, fantastic performance from Navi, but I'm not sure if that's just nerves or a complete oversight there of the lockdown. I really want to watch that back. I don't know if I missed something on the UI there, but did he think he had his TP to get out of there? I don't know, Lauren. I'm left speechless after that.
Yeah, that round was scary from the start. It came down to the last couple of seconds, or not last couple, but it was very late in the day to walk into somewhat of the unknown, kind of 20-second execute, and I don't know, man. That made me real nervous. That whole game did, but map 1 does go to Navi's favor. It was their choice. We did expect them to do well here. That's not too much of a surprise, and I guess Haven coming up should be where we see London United put up a very good performance as well, but man, I'm just getting a little bit confused with some of these pieces coming out, some of these plays. And as I said, maybe we missed something. Maybe there's something that changed how that came out. But definitely a weird ending to what was actually quite a good game and potentially a comeback story.
Hey, for me, I mean, credit where credit's due. That in my eyes, it shouldn't have been that close in the second half. So London United really did pull something out of the bag to make that at least interesting. I mean, almost you look at the numbers from the first half, and Navi were in the driving seat for all of that. Like, London United did test them, but that slower pace, you know, when the pressure's on, it's just one slip up can ultimately be your demise. And I think we maybe saw 2 rounds of that in the second half, which ultimately was what found Navi, map point, and then closing it out.
Okay, I want to see some of those nerves shaken off and just, you know, that warm-up coming into map 2. So speaking of that, we're going to go to a break, and when we're back, the desk will talk you through their thoughts of map 1 and what they expect in map 2.
What a dominant start there from NAVI. But more importantly, we're all about making dreams and wishes come true. Hypoc, you wanted to see what the JD curtains will look like on you, and our graphics operator, Lena, has so kindly made your dreams come true. What do you guys make of it? I think he's suited.
Yeah, I think it does. I would love to see him actually in an event, you know, next time we're in at least a week. He has to give it a try.
Oh my God, I love Kurt Cobain. He looks so good.
Oh my goodness, Ryan. But yeah, I know you want a lot of different hairstyles too, Ryan.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe you can Photoshop.
I knew that my time was up at some point, so I dyed my hair red, black, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, you've got to use it whilst you have it. And that's not the best start for London United, getting on back onto track, really. And considering this is like the first time a lot of people would have watched them properly, it's not the best sort of thing impression to give, right?
Yeah, exactly. And just based off how the way that Navi started getting those 8 rounds in a row, you know, they get the pistol. Okay, it's the map pick. We understand that this is, you know, we've been surprised this last two days of how teams have been playing on the attack on the maps that, you know, usually the defense is most favorite. But Navi, with those 8 rounds in a row, just completely demolished, I would say, all the chances that London have to any kind of combat, especially on the defense. But this composition is designed for that, and obviously Navi knows that when they pick this map, they're also peeking to start on the attack.
I think the stats might have been flipped a little bit there. I'm not 100% sure if that was the kills that both of these guys ended up with, but I'm glad you guys mentioned Molzy and Cloud in the beginning too, because these two players had massive impact for both of their sides, Ryan.
Yeah, in different ways. Early on, I think it was the KO winning out against the Breach. I think at one point JD was 10-5, despite being lowest on the ACS, I think, for his team. It says a lot about that bright start that they had. But Molzy certainly on the attack brought them back into the game. I think overall, if you're London United, you were read super hard. They're a team that likes to defensively push on like A main, B, with the chamber, with the breach, with that utility. A lot of that early aggression, moments like that where they're trying to push, they found nothing. The only time that they got around was when Boo pushed up mid and managed to catch somebody by complete surprise. Then they tried it again on the 12th round with a Quaddle, and it didn't have the same sort of success.
It's the timing, right, on the KO. We saw JD using that 0 point almost, you know, at CC. It's like the moment that I have it, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to grant that space. I think that is also what London was trying to do on the attack, but of course they do not have that kind of pressure. And Navi, you know, taking that time to be like, okay, we're going to grant the space little by little. We're just going to keep forcing them out. Also, you're forcing Feku to not play aggressive because he cannot take that kind of freedom to just go crazy. He did push a couple of rounds once he knows that that timer is activated and he actually has, you know, the upper hand in being aggressive. But for the defense of London United, maybe if they had gotten more than just 1 round, we would have got into overtime.
Do you feel like that mostly came down to the anti-stratting, and like Ryan said, they just kind of got read by Navi?
Yeah, in some occasions, I would say so. I understand that you get into a map with one idea. Of course, you know what the other team is kind of going to do. But then when it comes to you playing it, you kind of feel cornered. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to respond to this? The problem also is when you start snowballing and you have so little chances of actually playing with a full buy, it becomes even harder to perform.
Nothing says it better than that last round, right? Where London United are leaving it so late to execute. Navi see that they have the Cosmic Divide ready to go on the A exec. They try and go through tree. There's just so much Killjoy utility there to slow them down. They know the game plan, Navi, and they used it to a T.
And speaking of the Cosmic Divide, I know you want a big break a round down for us as well, Ryan.
Yeah, this was on the attack as well, so I think that this is a really good example of the aggression on the side of London United's defensive side that was there to try and be shut down. I think as well it's just been some good utility, and this is around, despite the fact that London United start off in a 5 versus 4, they end up losing. Molzy getting a lot of success with the ultimate, takes out JD, who has been instrumental onto these execs, but they still have ultimates to work with. If I just pause it for a second, we can make the minimap a little bit bigger. Sort of works, this'll do. You can have a bit of a closer look on what the plan is for Navi. They're resetting away from B. They were trying to poke mid to see if they could sort of punish a little bit of the styles, I suppose, out of London United's defensive pushes. Right now, you have the tour de force on this angle. A lot of this sort of A main aggression there, shut down by a turret. First of all of that space has to be given up. The Cosmic Divide then gets used on the exec. Now V can split through tree and also on A main. And they know that London United want to stop the plant as much as possible. They know that they're going to be playing close in. This is a round that was identical to Team Liquid Cloud9, right? With the same ultimate from the Cosmic Divide on the attack, knowing that the defenders are going to try and push it. The Killjoy also even catching somebody. But from here, this is the thing, I think, that sort of separated the two teams.